Asian American history will now be taught in Illinois public schools. The governor signed the Teaching Equitable Asian American Community History Act into law on Friday, making Illinois the first state in the U.S. to do so. This comes amid a rise in anti-Asian hate crimes during the coronavirus pandemic. Joining us to discuss the legislation are State Representative Jennifer Gong-Gershowitz, who was the chief sponsor of the bill, and Grace Pye, Executive Director of Asian Americans Advancing Justice of Chicago, which supported the legislation. Welcome both of you to Chicago Tonight. Welcome back. So Grace Pye, let's start with you, please. The U.S. has seen a rise in anti-Asian hate crimes and violence throughout the pandemic. Did any of this serve as a catalyst for your work on this legislation?
Absolutely. The rise in anti-Asian racism was certainly a motivating factor for why we introduced this legislation when we did, and I think why we saw such a groundswell of support in getting it passed. I think we have seen such a rise in violence. A lot of people are feeling afraid to go out into their communities, and a lot of community members want to know, what are we doing to combat that violence? And so for us, requiring Asian American history to be taught in public schools is a proactive getting at that problem and combating the harmful stereotypes and discrimination that can ultimately lead to violence.
Grace, what does it say to you that Illinois is the first in the nation to do this, that no other states have done it?
Honestly, I'm just so proud that Illinois can be the first, that we in the Midwest are leading on this issue. A lot of times people expect coastal states with maybe larger Asian American populations to be leading, but I think that speaks to how important it is to Illinoisans, to really be the most inclusive, to kind of take leadership in making sure that we are teaching our young people the full and inclusive history of the United States.
Now, at the signing of the bill on Friday, Illinois State Superintendent of Education Carmen Ayala spoke about what she said has been left out of history lessons. Let's listen.
But for too long, history education, the official ledger of those contributions, has been incomplete and therefore has been inaccurate. Culturally inclusive and responsive education empowers all our students to learn about the diverse communities that make our state so great.
And Representative Gong-Gershowitz, you introduced this legislation in January. How do you think it'll impact a student's understanding of American history?
Yeah, so TEACH is fundamentally at its core about building empathy. Empathy comes from understanding. We cannot expect to do better unless we know better. And when Asian Americans are missing from our classrooms, what fills that void are harmful stereotypes. And then others start to act on those harmful stereotypes. So TEACH is about teaching about who Asian Americans are, so that fundamentally we build empathy and understanding.
And of course, when you say TEACH, that is the acronym for the law, Teaching Equitable Asian American Community History Act. If you see all those letters spelled out, then that's what you get. So Friday, State Senator Ram Villavillam said as a student in Illinois growing up, he remembers the impact of not learning Asian American stories. Here he is.
I was the only youth in my class that was Asian American, and I had those questions myself, and my peers did, of who am I, who is my community, what are we about, what's our history here? And as was mentioned, those questions were left unanswered in some cases, and then in other cases, wrong assumptions were made.
And back to you, Representative. What impact do you hope this legislation will have on the Asian American students in Illinois?
Well, what I can say from my own personal perspective is that learning about Asian American history has helped me gain a deeper understanding of who I am and where I fit in the larger context of American history. I think it's important to remember that Asian American history is American history. But despite being a graduate of Illinois public schools, I didn't learn anything about Asian American history till I was in law school, when I studied the constitutionality of the Chinese Exclusion Acts and the incarceration of Japanese Americans in the 1940s. So teaching equitable Asian American history, the TEACH Act, is about making sure that the next generation of Asian American students won't need to attend law school in order to learn something about their heritage.
And Grace, Asian American communities, they're often seen as a monolithic group. What impact do those myths and those stereotypes have on Asian Americans?
Well, I think it really hides the diversity of our community, right? There is this kind of common perception of Asian Americans as all one thing, whether it's that we're all foreigners so that we can never truly belong, or that we're all good at math or smart. And I think it's really important through our history to interrogate why those myths have come to be, and to really understand that we are not all the same, that we have so many different rich histories and reasons that our families and communities came to the United States, and contributions that we have made throughout history. And I think the more that we're able to illustrate that in the classroom, the more empathy students will build, as Representative von Gershowitz was saying, and the more that they'll be able to relate to people from different backgrounds.
And before we let the two of you go, Representative von Gershowitz, District 65, the Evanston-Skokie Elementary School District, facing a lawsuit from a teacher about its racial equity-based teaching initiatives. There have been other similar instances of these in the news as of late. How concerned are you about the pushback to these efforts?
Well, I can't speak to the details of this particular lawsuit, but what I will say is it's absolutely critical that we create an inclusive environment for all students, one where every student has the ability to thrive. And that's what TEACH is really all about. I know it's fair to say that there are probably some people who are more comfortable teaching a narrower version of American history. But I believe that the next generation will be better served by learning a more comprehensive understanding of American history, one where even marginalized voices are included in that history. Empathy ultimately comes from understanding, and we cannot expect to do better until we know better. And the best weapon against ignorance is education.
Okay, and that is where we'll have to leave it. My thanks to Representative Jan von Gershowitz and Grace Pye for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.